All right, this is my Raw review. I just watched it. It used to be called Connected, and I I remembered that movie when I saw Mitchells versus Machines. I'm like, nah, that was called something else. And the movie was originally called Connected, right? Okay, so it's by Sony Pictures, Sony Pictures Animation. You know, the ones who did the best Spider-Man movie to date, which is Into the Spider-Verse. That's no argument. That's just a fact of life. Deal with it. It's the best Spider-Man movie. So, these guys and gals, right out the park again. Oh my goodness. I loved this movie from top to bottom. I was laughing. I was standing on my feet. I was cracking up. I did it. Now, before I get into the voice cast or anything, I want to talk about the film itself. There are references to Shaun of the Dead. There are references to the old 60s Batman. And there's like references to so many things, and it was wholesome and it was good. And another thing that made this movie so awesome was the fact that it truly felt like a family, which apparently they did show something that these might actually be real people. You know, in a fantasy world, it feels like it's taken a few years into the future. So now I remember the original trailer. It felt like it was more about the dad dealing with the family. But now watching it, which I got a funny feeling they reworked it. Because I think this movie was originally supposed to come out last year. Yeah, because it says September 20th in the thing. I think it was supposed to come out and it was supposed to match the dates, but, you know, Big C hit. So I think they might have taken the time, which I don't think is a bad thing. They might have taken the time to tweak this movie up. So, you know how Into the Spider-Verse has those little swooshy swirls? I mean, like, look at me right now, just, you know, how, and I've got, you know, you're going to see some animation around me. As I'm talking, and you know how I do on my things where little things go boop, 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 or sometimes like that, or like my other video where I was flipping out about Warner Brothers being completely tone deaf. This movie does that, and I think this is like their animation style. But it felt like it was like coming from her brain, like there was more. So you would see like her walking, and like maybe there was a loving moment, there'd be a little heart. But if her heart broke, it would break in half. And it was like, it was so animated because it was great in the sense that it gave you something, right? But then it turned around and it gave you more. So here is the plot. So Katie Mitchell is a quirky, aspiring filmmaker who often clashes with her nature-obsessed father, Rick, and has recently been accepted into college. The evening before Katie leaves, Rick accidentally breaks her laptop, disappointing her as they drift apart. Together with her mother, Linda, and younger brother, Aaron, and their dog, Rick takes them on a road trip the next morning to college. One last bonding experience, and Katie goes off to college. Now, there's a reason why they're taking a road trip, because they're literally driving from like Michigan to California. So there's a reason for that, which you would see. Meanwhile, the highly intelligent AI named Pal turns on her creator, Mark Bowman, after he declares her obsolete and plans to unveil a new line of home robots. If you've seen the trailer, you see the robots. They kind of had the Mega Man cannon. It was very cool. There was the robots were actually extremely funny. How they would do stuff, and you know how the things are, and the Mitchells themselves. Okay, I'm just making sure I don't want to give away too much. Scott, okay, this gives away more. I don't want to give away all that. So what happens is that the Mitchells, while going on this road trip, end up having to basically deal with each other. Now, she's being a typical teenager. She wants to get out in the world. She wants to leave, you know, explore, do stuff. She's artistic. Her father, on the other hand, is very nature. He loves nature. He like their anniversary, the gifts that they all got, which is this very specific screwdriver, which is funny because it does come up. There are great scenes. Like there's a scene, and I do apologize, it's gonna have a little bit of spoiler. So the dude is talking. I'm not gonna say when it comes, right? So they're talking, and something happens, and the robot's like, you're literally like, really? You're gonna be that cliche? And just kicks him in, kicks him in the nards. And it was hilarious. I almost fell out of my seat. It was very adult, yet it was also kid friendly. It was that perfect PG-13 kind of tween thing. I don't even know what the rating is. So the rating on this is PG, but it did have that. It was good for both. So to me, it was like a PG-13 kind of thing, but not the PG-13 of yesteryear. The one that was kind of in the middle, Last Action Hero style. You couldn't say certain words and stuff. Now, the cast is Abby Jacobson as Katie Mitchell, Danny McBride as Rick Mitchell, Maya Rudolph as Linda Mitchell, and they were perfect. Michael Renanda as Aaron Mitchell, that's the son. Eric Andre was Mark Bowman. Pal was Olivia Colman. Funny enough, I thought Pal was, I can't remember her name right now, the one that played Nanny McPhee. Fred Armisen was Deborah Bot 5000. Beck Bennett was Eric. Chrissy Teigen was Haley Posey. John Legend was Jim Posey. That actually fit. Charlene Yee was Abby Posey. Like, all of that actually fit. Blake Griffin was Pal Max Prime. Conan O'Brien was Galaxon 5000. Doug the Pug was Munchie, their pug, which actually was a crazy looking pug. Melissa Stern was Sarge. Douglas Nicholson was Hamburger Boy. Madeline McCraw was John Katie. There's another Katie. And we get a few other people here. Jay Farrell was Noah. I was very happy about that. I love Jay Farrell. I think that guy should do more voice acting. I think he should do regular acting, but his impersonations and stuff, when he do stuff, he's like perfect for it. I'm trying to find Jade. Who is Jade? Okay, so Shashmir Zamata was Jade. Good voice acting. I don't know who she is. Great voice acting. So, while on this trip, basically something happens. They do the whole iPhone, we're going to reveal, we're going to do this. That dumb iPhone thing that they always do. Or where Key and Peele did the play on, we're going to show you something in the future. Teleportation, he melted. So it was like one of those, and it went horribly wrong. But it's actually because of what Bowman Dude did, right? So you see where the father and the daughter disconnects, and it's beautiful because it does happen in real families where sometimes the teenager and the parent, especially the parent they're really close to, disconnects. Now, you do find out things later about the family where the father and the daughter actually are quite similar, but it's different, and I thought that was awesome. And the dad is one of those guys who's like completely like, you say, hey, do you know how to go to this website? They're like, what's a website? That kind of person. And the daughter, she makes mini movies, she does YouTube. It felt like this was their next shot at an Emoji Movie. They're like, you know what? We still kind of want to do what the Emoji Movie did, but let's not do the Emoji Movie. Thank goodness. This, I don't know this particular animation studio, because it's like Sony's all of them, but it seems like it's this particular one that did Into the Spider-Verse. They get it, you know? It's like they know how to hit all the right chords. So I was like, all right, y'all killed it with Spider-Verse. How are you going to do with this connected movie? and they just was like, we got this. The family was great because they're weird, they're different, but technically they're like a normal family looking at the other family. They got the right voice actors for it. It just was cooking on all cylinders, okay? There's the thing, Mitchell Special. You'll know when you watch it. Yeah, so I love the connection. There was things that when the father, it also showed how if we're not careful, we can lose our connections to our family. If we're not careful. And there was things that was brought up in the movie about it that I thought were excellent. Things about like, your mom tried to call you, but look at what you're doing now. And even the main villain, which you'll find out, which is Pal, but you'll find out what Pal is, which is hilarious. Even that villain's motive was very human-based. And I thought that was interesting. And I thought that was like really well done. There's robots in there that you're going to fall in love with. They were great. There was just so much this movie had to offer. I loved all the animation and the little stuff. And the little brother had his obsession with like dinosaurs. And it was fantastic. And it was definitely a coming of age. Now, I want to bring this up, and as I'm talking through this, I'll, just pop up some imagery on it. Disney, AT&T, WB, and any other studios, mostly like CW, take notes. Take notes. That's how you write an LGBTQ plus person. That's how you write somebody from the letter community. I was like, this is how, right? Now, I know it seems spoilerish, but it's not. You know why? Because if you weren't paying attention, you would kind of pick up and hint to it. There's a hint where the person talked like a normal person. They didn't go, I am telling you all my pronouns and all my people, and I'm obsessed with this person. And that's all I ever talk about. And that's all I am. I am just... this particular thing, I think she's a lesbian, so I am just a lesbian, and that's all I'm going to do. Yes, all I think about is girls. Yes. No. Her thing was her art. She loved film. She was a whole person. That was one aspect, and they touch on it later. And after watching Disney correct the thing from Onward, which I do want to do a review to Onward because I actually like that movie, about the brothers. This didn't feel like it was preaching. It didn't feel like any of that. It just felt like an awesome movie. Her being gay or lesbian or part of the letter community was just a byproduct. Heck, the son, he was interested in someone. Like, it was so well done, and they were so accepting, and they just wanted to be a family. And the way the family worked, and it was great because the mom was dealing with something, and she was trying to help, and the brother was trying to help, and the sister and the brother are really, really close. And it was really nice, and they were like best friends, and it was just such a great relationship. And one of the robot weaknesses, which was the dog, which was great because the dog was just a big pug, just like it was funny, just the goofy stuff, and when they took the trip, how even though they were upset because her laptop got broken and stuff, you could see the family love was there throughout. Even when they were having rough times, if you let them have half a moment, the love came through. And it felt real. Like, it went through the whole movie. But all the quirky and all the weird stuff, and when they talk about what the dad did before and how he brought a possum home and tried to make it a pet, and they all got rabies. Oh my goodness. Yes, I know it's warm, but right now it's actually cool here, so I know I'm wearing this because I don't care. So, the movie was funny. I love the plot because I was like, all right, we got another robot technology bad. We're too dependent on technology. Here we go again for the 1,000th time. Technology's so bad, it doesn't do anything good for us whatsoever. Except, make our lives easier, and now we're getting electric cars and go to space and stuff. But technology's bad. But immediately the movie gets away from that. Now, the dad does have the technology thing because he's so against technology. It's to the point that he refuses to progress, and he needs to kind of learn how to do that. Which, by the way, when he does start learning technology, it does make you laugh your behind off. It is great. There's a moment which I was waiting for it, and the mom had the mom strength moment, and any mom who's had to deal with this, you'll know what I'm talking about. It was great. It was great. And how the family each had their own strengths, but yet even the system doubted them, like they're terrible, they're not connected, they're just these people. And it was these run-of-the-mill, normal, we're just trying to make it through the day people. And they were the heroes. And that was fantastic. And it showed you that you didn't have to be like the cool, awesome neighbors. You didn't have to be like these people over here. You just gotta be unapologetically you. But it didn't feel like it was preaching. It just gave you the message. And that is phenomenal. That's how you need to do a movie. Yeah, stop trying to, I'm going to write this story, but wait. I got to make sure we got to check the marks. And wait. I got to make sure this happens. And wait. I got to make sure that happens. And no, it was, hey, let's tell an awesome story and try to interweave these lessons and these things in it, because technology was definitely necessary. It's just saying don't be too dependent on it, but also don't go extremely the opposite way too. The family dynamic was great. The interactions were natural and just so funny because they would find these moments and the mom would catch it and try to do it, and they were just them. And the machines were going to literally take all the humans. It was great. So the guy was like, the humans are going to rise up, and goes, yeah, let me turn off the Wi-Fi. And then humanity ripped itself apart. And then one guy was like, we have to make a sacrifice to the router. It was great. Oh my goodness. I was laughing so hard. And how desperate people were. And then they had this in-flight thing. I loved every second of it. It was so great. And they were like, you don't get this, you don't get that, but you get Wi-Fi. Free Wi-Fi. And they're like, oh, okay, that's nice. And it's like, while they're bored, they're like, oh, I guess I'll just watch YouTube videos. I am going to give my rating as this movie completely blew my mind. Yes, it's getting a rating of blow my mind. I suggest you take a moment out and you watch this movie. I might be overhyping it for you, but I loved every second of it. I did come across some critical ratings. I think on Metacritic it's at like an 85 or something like that. I know we don't really care about critics, but I just want to point it out that it is. I know it popped up on Rotten Tomatoes like 97%, and I actually agree with the critics. It's a fun joyride with a family who's trying to connect, but they're trying to break because they lost what made them a family, and they had to refine it again. And the thing is, the daughter and the dad do have a connection, actually a very strong one, and it's amazing when you see their connection from her growing up and stuff and how much love was there. But the connection, there's another connection that they didn't look at. It's just that they're expressing it differently. And it was wonderful. I loved it. I want to watch it again, but I have more things I have to do. I have more YouTube videos I got to do. I still got to do my Invincible. I have one Invincible, the first 3 episodes that was supposed to be released, but I never got around to editing it. So I'll be actually dropping that. And then I'll drop the rest of my Invincible video. Try and keep it short. This is the Geek Protagonist. Please, if you haven't seen the movie, I would highly recommend watching this movie. If you have seen the movie, please tell me what you think. I loved it. I want Disney, I want AT&T and all of them to take notes. This is how you write a lettered community person. I thought it was great. It felt natural. I was like, hey, you know what? She happens to be also gay, but she's also an artist. She's also quirky. She's also weird. She's trying to fit in. She's trying to figure out her way in life, and she's finding her way. And she loves her brother. Like, I can name multiple things of this character well before I get to, oh, she's also a lesbian. Well, before you get into any of that, it's like I can name so many things. She had a red jacket. She had lightning earrings on because that was kind of her style. She had glasses. She finally found people that connected to her. She's a cinephile. She loves movies and makes her own little movies, and apparently is actually pretty decently popular on YouTube. I can name so many things. That's what's awesome. The little brother, I can name stuff. First off, he was hilarious because he has that my voice is starting to mature kind of voice. And there's extremes that he does whenever he gets embarrassed. And it's great. But that was something. The father, he loved nature. He loved walking in nature. He appreciates nature. He's tries to be prepared for something very specific. He knows how to make traps. He knows how to do stuff. Like, every character in this movie, I can tell you multiple things about them. What the mom does, how she makes the face cakes, and she's the peacemaker, and she's kind of the head of the family, but the dad is the strength of the family. Like, I could that's how amazing this is. I felt like I watched real people, and that is great. Also, too, in this movie, because it was in the trailer, and I don't care, I want to talk about it. Furby showed up. I hope this is a resurgence of Furbies. I think that is hilarious. And what they did with the Furbies, and the Furbies spoke in their language, which, by the way, from what I saw and I checked, was the actual Furby language. Now, it was great because the one kid's like, what's a Furby? Now, the sister would know. Any of you kids that don't know what a Furby is, it's... Well, when I was a kid, there was a thing called Teddy Ruxpin. You'd put a tape into the bear, he would read you a story, he would talk to you, whatever. Teddy, I know, is still around. I think they upgraded him a little bit. Well, Furbies were these little cute things that kind of remind you of Gizmo if you ever watched Gremlins. If you haven't, sorry. But it's these little cute things that look kind of like furry penguins, or a cross between like the platypus from Phineas and Ferb, but with more fur and cutie, and they had their own language. So I really was happy to see the Furbies in there. I would like to see a resurgence of Furbies. Special edition, The Mitchells. This is the second Mitchells movie, if I remember correctly, that I'm like, yeah, I love this movie. So, like I said, it blew my mind. Go watch it, please. And if you have watched it, no spoilers in the comments, but please, 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 just leave what you thought of the film. I think it was glorious. This is the Geek Protagonist. You stay safe, you stay healthy, you stay real in the Mitchell special. You'll know what I mean when you see it. And I'll see you.